Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Minister, for appearing at committee. And it might, we've heard from even one of your Manitoba colleagues, this might be one of your last appearances at committee. So again, thank you for appearing today. But we saw not long ago that you had been openly critical of the Prime Minister around a Senate appointment in Manitoba. And I have an article from Globe and Mail. It says a Liberal cabinet minister is criticizing Charles Adler's appointment to the Senate, saying there are Manitobans better suited to represent the province. Northern Affairs Minister Dan Vandel offered his view in a statement his office released on Monday. There are many eminently qualified Manitobans who are better suited to represent our province than Charles Adler, he said. And we've even seen recently our chair has made public comments of concern around the sitting Prime Minister. From a CBC article just last week, some Liberal MPs issued a deadline to Trudeau, make up your mind to stay or go by October 28th. Sources said MP Patrick Weiler read a letter to Trudeau today during the party's caucus meeting on Parliament Hill.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. I'm not sure the content of what Mr. Zimmer is saying right now has anything to do with this committee meeting.
It does. I can reassure him.
Well, I just want to remind the members that we're here today to discuss the priorities of our three ministers for this committee, so I'd ask the member to keep it relevant to the topic at hand today.
And it is. I'm just about there. Sources said MP Patrick Weiler read a letter to Trudeau today during the party's caucus meeting on Parliament Hill, laying out the arguments in favour of the Prime Minister resigning now. Seeing such public dissatisfaction with the Prime Minister.
Point of order.
And you talked about priorities.
Mr. Chair. I would just like to reiterate what my colleague said. I don't believe this has any relevance or bearing to this meeting.
It does. It does. I'm just about done my question, Chair. So.
I'll just remind the members again, keep it relevant to the topic that we're here today to discuss, which we all agreed to discuss. The time is very valuable. I know we want to hear the answers from our ministers.
This is
that are
getting
here today. So please, I've paused the time, Mr. Zimmer, but please get to the question.
Yeah, again, the question, back to the question, you talked about priorities, Minister, and so for me, and I think many Canadians, priorities in Canada starts right at the top with leadership, and the question is around leadership of this Prime Minister. Seeing the public dissatisfaction with the Prime Minister, have you lost confidence in the Prime Minister?
To answer your question, no. I support the Prime Minister 110% to continue to lead the party in the country. I support the Liberal Party 110% to continue to be the governing party. On your reference to Charles Adler, I'll let my statement stand. I stand by it today. I think the whole issue of senatorial appointments are tricky. I will go back 10 years where we heard the name Patrick Duffy,
Minister,
Patrick Brazeau, Pamela Wallin, who were all appointed by your government.
He's answered the question, Chair. Can I ask the next question?
Finishing his answer to the
But
question.
he did already. He answered the question.
We've
He already said
appointed
about
an independent committee to make
Can I have my
an
time?
independent committee
Chair, you said it,
to make
you said
recommendations
at the beginning of the
on
meeting,
who
it's
becomes
up to the questioner's
Colleagues,
time.
I've paused this time. Like this crosstalk, it can't continue for reasons I've already made clear.
He's actually answered two of my questions, and I want to ask the next question. And you're still, and he's continuing to extrapolate on one of the answers. And I'm ready to ask the next question.
I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you.
You have 2.5 minutes left.
Perfect. So thank you again, Minister. You know, the Prime Minister and your government have been in power for the last 9 years. Clean drinking water is still not done, despite the PM's promise in 2015 to have all boil water advisories lifted by 2021. Food is expensive and made worse by the Prime Minister's carbon tax. Heating costs are high and made a lot worse by the Prime Minister's carbon tax. Housing needs in Canada are highest in Nunavut and getting worse. And for some numbers from the Northern Housing Report I have right in front of me, 49% of families in Nunavut are unable to affordably secure market housing. And a more stark number, more than 80% of families can't afford to purchase a single detached home in Nunavut, pointing to an exceptionally high poverty rate in Nunavut, the highest in the country. And our Arctic sovereignty is more at risk than at any point in our history. And Minister, countless of the Prime Minister's promises have been broken to Northerners. Countless announcements won't feed, heat, or house Northerners. A lot of promises made and a lot of money spent, but little to show for it. I guess what is mystifying to me, with such a bad record in the North, how can you still have confidence in the Prime Minister?
Mr. Speaker, thank you for that question, first of all. And I think the challenges in the North are significant. They have always been there through chronic underfunding by all governments, including some previous governments that were of our stripe and yours. I believe we've done a good job in addressing the affordability crisis, whether it's the school food program, which was rolled out earlier in the year, which will put nutritious food in all students'
Minister, I asked you, I
belly.
spoke about very specific
The
things
childcare
here, which you're not
program,
mentioning or
the
referring back
$10.
to. How are you doing on housing?
The $10. Will you let me answer?
I would like answers to these questions.
The $10 a day daycare program, which was first implemented, first jurisdiction was in Nunavut. I've heard many positive things about that. Your government voted against it.
What about the poverty rate in the housing?
Dental care, which is going to help thousands of children all over Canada, thousands in the North. Your government, your party voted against that. School food program.
How about drinking water?
Your party voted against it. We
How
lifted
about
100.
Carbon tax?
Can I answer?
I've asked you.
Can I answer?
Mr.
Can I answer
Zimmer,
the water?
The time is up. I'll just give the minister just a couple of seconds to finish the answer.
145 boil water advisories since we were in government. It's not perfect, but it's very good. That's 145 more boil water advisories than 10 years of Stephen Harper and Pierre Poilievre.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zimmer.